Hey guys, Rascal here, and welcome back to the review. Now, I did cover before that I would be talking about the other Ben 10 live action movie, and this is the place for it. It's the Ben 10 Alien Swarm. Now, in my last review, if you have seen about the live action Ben 10 movie, and the announcement of Ben 10 becoming a live action series later on, which is going to be interesting to see, I decided I would cover the two times that Cartoon Network tried to adapt this franchise into live action format before they finally decided, let's just do a whole series about it. Now, before, when I talked about Race Against Time, I really said that it kept true to Ben 10, and even though you didn't care for being live action, they made it believable. They made sure that you had the feel of Ben 10 the entire time. The characters acted like the characters. They felt real. They felt like they really were trying to have the Ben 10 feel, even keeping the music, the clothes, the names, and everything to make it feel like this is a Ben 10 movie coming to life. And I gave props to that, and they even tried to put some aliens in there like Wild Mud, Diamond Head, Heat Blast, and Gray Man, which I think I forgot to mention in the past review. But they tried. There was really effort put into it, even if they had some limitations. They were doing their best to make it feel like a Ben 10 movie. Here, however, not so much. I don't know. For me, the Alien Swarm movie just didn't work for me. Like with Race Against Time. Race Against Time had fun in it. It was still like the classic Ben 10. But now I hear some people say, oh, well, Alien Force wasn't fun. It was trying to be too serious, and it slacked off when it got the last two seasons. Why is everyone so dull? Why is it so serious? And yada, 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 yada. I personally don't believe those comments because people were cheering for that series and I watched, so I don't know when the opinion changed. But for this movie, this sort of came out of nowhere. And weirdly enough, it's also part of the animated timeline. Despite it being a whole new format, it's still part of the animated series. So I wonder, why was this such an ambitious project they decided we need to put it to life instead of animated? It's really weird. So for this movie, it takes place in the timeline of, I believe, between Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, because they do a sort of an in-between thing. And this movie tries to have a more gritty edge and darker, and the filter for the movie is really strange. I mean, they got this gray filter on to make it look dark and bleak. It was like, is this a Michael Bay film? What the heck? No, seriously, there's like this gray filter on the film, and it makes it look like it's an old, dreary movie, and the only thing in color was Kevin's car, which is green, and Grandpa Max's shirt, which is blue for some reason. I don't know why, but it is. Even Ben's shirt didn't stick out that much. The best I can say that they did stick to the costume designs, and they actually tried again to have some aliens in here look like the ones from the show. But once again, they don't stay on the screen that long. They stay about 5 minutes each, and then that's it. They don't really do that much with their powers. They don't really fight with them and have these exciting battle scenes. They just sort of are there, do some things, and then they're done, and that's the budget. But for this particular movie, they sort of had this in-between story between Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. And they have this new character. It's not Julie, it's, oh man, it's been so long I forgot her name. That's embarrassing. Okay, I'll just say, new girl for now. You'll probably know the name and the description. It's been so long. She's a new character in here that apparently was an old friend of Ben and Gwen's, even though you had never heard of her until now. And apparently her father started creating these sort of, they're not nanites, but it's sort of like microchip things that can respond to your thought patterns, so you can really control them with your mind. And apparently her father went missing, and she needs to find him because his inventions could fall into the wrong hands. So of course they want to help her, but Gwen has trouble trusting her. Monica has trouble trusting her. Ben wants to help her. You don't really know why. Apparently, I don't know what happened with them. They're not explaining clearly of what happened between these people that made one group want to trust them and the other one not to. It doesn't really add up. Grandpa Max is in here, but he's not played by Lee Majors anymore. He's played by a whole different guy who's way too relaxed to be Grandpa Max. Grandpa Max had this sort of still authoritative presence. I mean, he had the illusion that he was just your average run-of-the-mill grandpa, but finding out he's a plumber, it fit with him being a little more stoic and strict, because despite that, he still had his training and he still had his rules. Here, Max is more relaxed. He's more fun, I guess, and Ben, Gwen, and Kevin are more of the strict ones, which is a little backwards, but okay. And no, they don't have any appearances from the characters from the TV show playing other people in there, which was a waste of opportunity. It's more trying to be this dark and gritty movie, like they were trying to make a Michael Bay movie or something. No offense to Michael Bay, I personally like some of his movies, but this one just had such a weird feel to it. And yeah, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien were both serious takes on Ben 10, but it still had fun. It had hilarious dialogue. It had some funny music every now and then, and it worked. It still was trying to be fun in a way, just with more action and story and depth. Here, it's just trying way too hard to be serious, and it feels so off. And it kind of throws you out of the movie because you couldn't get invested in these characters. Everyone was really bleak and dark and moody all of a sudden. It was just like, why? Ben was a little more serious, but he was still goofy at heart. Gwen was just a little bit arrogant. Kevin was supposed to be the comic relief, but he ends up just being as just weirdly moody as the rest of the cast. And that's what kind of destroyed the feel of the movie for me. I mean, it was okay, but it really didn't have much to it, at least to me. I mean, I know I haven't seen it in a while, but I expected a little more substance. And like we said, this is canon, because when we get to Ultimate Alien, they bring up the girl and the swarm from the movie. They even say a description from the Alien Swarm movie. So this is canon. It's just for some reason they decided to do this whole project in live action instead of animated. And it's sort of like the Hive Queen, and she's taking over everything. So she was the bad guy the whole time, and it's like, well, what happened to her father? Oh, she did something to him. What happened? We're not going to tell you. It's like, what are you bringing all this up for? In the end, the movie is just like really confusing. I mean, I know I haven't seen a little bit, but I remember majority of this movie, and it was just sort of a snooze fest. I mean, they tried to have some action. They tried to do some things. The best part, probably the opening credits with the stylized green gritty backdrop, and that was really it. Nothing really stood out about this movie other than trying to be a dark, edgy movie. And of course, yes, the microchips could take over people with just simply by touching them and taking over their mind. And of course, that becomes a thing. And they have to stop the Hive Queen before she mind controls everybody. And it's like, well, we've seen this before. It's nothing really different. You just put Ben, Kevin, and Gwen in there. Now, you think there are any more positives? Well, yeah, you like this is a new addition to the Ben 10 franchise. It's just odd that they went in this direction for. I really don't understand the reason behind it. It's just like it's a really bizarre take, and I appreciate them trying to do something different and give you something new to this amazing series that they've done so well, but it seems like they could have just skipped it. They could have just skipped the episode altogether and pretend the movie never happened, or just make a 30-minute episode explains the things, and that's really it. I really don't have too much positive to say about it. That's a little different for me unless I'm ranting about a movie I would love to tear apart. But this one is not a horrible movie. It's just a lackluster one. And that's pretty bad because I'd rather be irritated and get to talk about how bad it is and it's hilarious, or enjoy it at least for some part, than rather just be bored for a while. And yeah, they do have some aliens in here, but they only do, once again, 3. They have Humongosaur, Big Chill, and then a new alien introduced just for the movie, and then they later throw into Ultimate Alien. It's called Nanomech. And it was like, okay, and more of the budget went into the Nanomech one because they got to do all of his scenes, and then battling the Hive Queen in CGI. Which, again, it's a little weird for them to do. But, I respect that they try to do something different. They try to give you more content. This is back when a lot of people actually tried to give you some variety. Because now everything's a live-action adaptation or something. So, I can understand why this flopped a little bit. I'm just kind of surprised that they're still doing a live-action series because the live action stuff already didn't take too well. But that's pretty much what I think, and just want to throw that out there so I have enough Ben 10 reviews enough till the live action series comes out, because I don't want to talk about that Ben 10 reboot unless it's something really bad I should talk about, because other than that, I really don't care. But let me know what you guys think of Alien Swarm in the comments below. Did you actually really enjoy it and found it to be cooler? And you can even explain to me why it works better like this and why it was so important. Or did you really just couldn't stand it or not care for it and just kind of skipped over it? Just let me know what you think in the comments below, because I know I got a lot of Ben 10 fans out there, of course. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.